everyone, welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing? I hope everyone is okay. I want to start this video by saying the way you are living now is this building the foundations for your future self, for a life filled with joy, health, happiness. I heard this question in a podcast and I felt really sad because the way I am living now is setting myself up for a life of misery. It breaks me to hear myself saying this over and over and over again, and it breaks me that I've literally just lost my train of thought, and there you go. That is brain fog. That is your brain struggling, and that is the reality of what this horrific, horrible illness can do. And I think that it's not spoken about enough. In all seriousness, I think that social media glamorizes people losing weight and being thin and being undernourished and malnourished, and nobody shows the actual signs, the actual symptoms that come along with that. Hello everyone, I am just finishing off my break at work. It is the 2nd of March today and I have just actually given my notice at my current job and handed over my resignation, which hasn't really sunk in yet. I feel quite strange because this job has been such an eye-opener and I've had such a insightful experience, and yeah, it's been a difficult job, but it's time for me to make some changes and seek some new opportunities. And yeah, I thought I would just kind of vlog the next kind of month or so of these things that are happening and decisions that I'm making. I don't know, let's do this. It is the 6th of March today and I don't know how, and I physically feel so unwell, and if this feeling right now is not enough to spark change, then I really don't know what is. I feel so silly even saying this out loud. It is a little bit later now. I do feel better than what I did this morning. It keeps coming in like weird waves where I feel really bad. I am gonna go to Manchester tomorrow on my own to an event, and I'm quite nervous and quite scared, but I'm gonna push myself because I started thinking about this the other day and I thought it's so easy for me to not do things because I tell myself that I'm not ready and that I'm not able to right now, but I just kept thinking, maybe if I just go and put myself out of my comfort zone. And I think it's important to remember that sometimes, when will you ever feel ready to do things? And yes, I am not physically very well or doing my best right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't try and still go and do things. So I'm going to push myself out of my comfort zone and I'm going to go. I am quite terrified, but we will see. Before going to the event, I had some overnight oats and then I got myself ready and I did go. I probably shouldn't have gone, and looking back, I don't know how or why I did it, but I did. The scariest thing about this illness is that sometimes you really don't see or realise just how unwell you actually are until something happens or you step out of that hole that you're in, and then you begin to realise. Let's have a little sit down and a little bit of a catch up. As you can probably tell, I'm not gonna sugarcoat and give a big spiel and XYZ. However, I am in a pretty dire situation. I haven't said that for a while. I feel like I got that from my mum. Anyway, I'm in a dire situation physically, and well, it could be a lot worse, but things could be a lot better. And I have to be honest, not only to myself, but to people around me. And that is incredibly hard, because to be honest about where you are and to be honest about your situation and behaviours and things that you're doing that are keeping you stuck is a way of letting go, and your illness is not going to like that. I'm speaking openly and honestly, and if you find talking about this stuff hard or potentially difficult, then please don't continue watching this video. On the 18th of March, it was just kind of any other average day at work until things just took a drastic change, and at the time felt like a turn for the worst, but actually now looking back at this, it was the best thing that could have happened, because I don't know where I would have been now if this didn't happen. But I spent this time in hospital and it was hell. It was horrendous. It was horrific, and it gave me a major reality check. I don't even feel like a real person, and I haven't even got the energy to even talk right now. And if this wasn't the kick up the arse that I really needed, then I don't know what is or what would have been. But my body and brain has definitely given in. I'm literally giving in. The next day, I didn't set an alarm. I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. I let myself sleep in until I woke up, and I went downstairs wearing my dressing gown and began to make my breakfast after just waking up, not having to put myself through a workout or a walk before I'm allowed to sit down and eat my breakfast. And this was the first time that this had happened in years. I can't even put into words how grateful I was for this coffee. It was just unreal. Hello everyone and good morning. I think the last clip that you would have seen was me making a coffee. So I don't know really where to start from there, but I have had a week of stuff going on that I would just never have imagined was gonna happen at all. I actually was at work on Wednesday last week and a lot of stuff went down and I ended up in general hospital for a few nights, and now I'm back at home temporarily until I informally am going to go to inpatient for a little bit. I don't know how long. I'm taking each day and second as it comes, and I feel completely different to anything that I've ever felt before, and I feel so annoyed that every time I say this and every time I say it out loud, you almost feel like everybody around you doesn't believe you, and people just kind of look at you and think, but you've said this before. And I really, really, really hate that, but also know that it's true. But I think it would be nice if people believed when you said these things, because that would help you to believe even more in yourself. But I am terrified, and obviously this is not going to be easy, and this isn't the way that I wanted things to be, but unfortunately I'm here and I'm accepting where I am, and I think that this really is a small amount of time out of my life for saving the rest of my life, because I'm at that age now where if I don't do something, the long-term damage will be there. So I've got a really strong opportunity to recover and actually recover. And I feel very motivated. I feel quite strong. I have experienced a lot in the last few days, and I think that in life sometimes you need that sort of experience to reshape your perception and mindset on things, and that has definitely happened, definitely. I am just waiting now for an update, I guess, on when and where I will be going, and yeah, that's where I'm at. I have been trying to create a video for such a long time, but I just become so consumed by things that I was just really struggling. I kept starting the video, and you'll probably see, because I might try and do something with what I did manage to record, but I was just managing to record my breakfast and then a little bit of something else, and then yeah. Today is the 24th of March, and I have been found somewhere to go, so I'm going to go, and yeah, I'm gonna go and make my last breakfast for a bit, which makes me sad because I love my mornings and my breakfast, and I'm not going to be able to have this, but I know that it's a short time out of my life. So yeah, sad times. It was so nice as well, and I'm just not going to be getting any nuts and seeds and nice things. I know that this is going to benefit me, but there is also the side that has its negatives to actually doing this, and yeah. Anyway, I'll make my last coffee because I won't be having one of them either. And my coffee is so important to me. I did ask if I could bring my coffee machine. I ended up packing up my bags and I kind of had to say goodbye to my bedroom because I wasn't sure if this was the last time that I was going to see it. But anyway, I was honestly really not nervous at this point. I don't know why, but it just almost felt like it was what was supposed to be happening, and I just kind of went in there with my head held high. It was a little bit odd, and immediately when I got there, I just sort of knew that this was it and this was my time to actually do this. And I really did know that this was my only opportunity and kind of like a last chance to really do this, because reaching the age of 25, it really is a pivotal point where it's either make or break when it comes to sustaining long-term damage and never allowing myself to be free from this. After the first week, I ended up coming home for a night of home leave, and I came home to the whole house being packed up because we were in preparation for moving to Manchester. So coming home, it was a little bit strange, and yeah, reality was kind of sinking in that there was just so many big shifts going on in my life. The next day, we did pack up some stuff and we actually got the keys to the new apartment, and here's my mum looking lovely. We drove up to Manchester the next day and tried to take as much stuff as possible. On the way there, it really didn't feel real, and me and my mum both said that sometimes in the world today it's so hard to feel present because there's been so much happening in the world, and since COVID it just almost sometimes it's hard to slow down, it's hard to feel present. And yeah, we just drove and just really didn't feel like it was real. We then arrived to the apartment, and still at this point it really didn't feel real, but we began to bring everything in and it just was, I don't know, I can't quite put into words, but we brought everything in and sort of just dumped everything down, and that was about it really. I then had to go back to the inpatient treatment centre, and I didn't get a chance to stay that long, but it was so good to see my family and kind of be there for this day. Hello everyone, how are we all doing? I hope everyone is okay. I have been here for 2.5 weeks now, and I can't wait to tell you about everything that's been going on and how it's been going, but I'll save that for later. But I just wanted to say how I informally came here, and I'm just really glad that it happened, and I'm very aware that it needed to happen because, let's be honest, I was definitely not going to be able to do all of this at home, and now I've sort of came and I feel like I've just had that boost and time to reflect and reset, and sort of things have shifted. Things really have shifted. It feels so much different now. And I was looking back at some pictures and some of my most recent videos last night, and I don't feel like the same person as then. And I know people keep saying, I've heard this before, or you've said that before, but this really feels different. But anyway, I did just actually record a clip but wasn't recording, and I can't remember what I was saying. I am just packing my bag because I'm going to go for home leave this weekend, and there's been some big changes at home, so I'm going to bring you along for that. had home leave from Friday to Saturday, so that means that I've got to go back today. I have absolutely loved coming home and coming to a new home. So we have actually moved to Manchester and we're living in the city for the rest of this year. So yesterday it was just more of a chill and catch up, and we moved a lot of things down to the apartment as well because there's still a lot to sort of do, but it feels so homely. It's really bizarre. I have just had a coffee and I have just made a bowl of oats. I've missed Greek yogurt so much. I feel good and I'm just gonna sort of enjoy the rest of the day. I am trying to completely grow it out and I haven't had it done since June. So this is how long it's taken. I need it to, I don't know what to say. Anyway, I'm rambling, I digress. I hope everyone is okay, I really do, and I can't wait to be able to start vlogging again and going out in the city and trying lots of bakeries and restaurants. It's nice to feel like I am making progress, and I have worked incredibly hard in the last 3 weeks and I'm gonna get emotional. I've still got a long way to go, but instead of looking at it like such a big thing, I think sometimes just take it day by day, gradually. It's not like it's gonna be happening so fast, it's just gonna take time and you have to be patient. I got myself ready for the day and then I did have this good grain oat pot as a snack, and honestly at this point I was still quite early on into my recovery and I was still trying to convince myself that I didn't need this snack, although I know that I did. And watching this footage back, it's so interesting because I can literally remember the exact thoughts that were going through my head of thinking that I didn't need to be doing this and I'm doing this wrong, I don't need to do this, and XYZ, just a million thoughts going through my head. I wanted my dad to make my lunch for me as well, because something that I think is so important to challenge yourself with, if this is something that you struggle with, is allowing other people to cook for you and allowing other people to choose how much butter goes onto the bread and control sort of what the portion is. My face really does say it all, but anyway, my dad made me my lunch and it was absolutely lush.
That's what she's eating now, that's a nice portion.
And as well, doing this allows you that flexibility to actually be able to enjoy things and appreciate other people's cooking. It's important to be flexible because you can't spend the rest of your life in the kitchen cooking, preparing everything from scratch. Although that is an extremely good thing to do, if it starts to take you away from actually living your life, joining in, being social and seeing friends, going out, exploring, experimenting, trying new foods, and if you stop going out because you are unable to control what the food is or unable to weigh out the ingredients, then this isn't a life and it's going to cause more harm than good.